Hello and welcome to A Star to Steer By, a Star Trek podcast that you will listen to.
Eat your heart out, Lin-Manuel.
My name is Jake, and I'm joined today by
Chris.
And Caitlin.
That's really low.
That's like the brown
but
noise.
I don't know if it'll sound okay. But I hope it does. Today we're covering 2 episodes of Star Trek: The Next Generation. The first one is Hero Worship.
Okay, you're making this take really,
And
really
the
long.
second one is Violations. Alright, fine. In the interest of time, I had intended to go through the whole description in song.
Well, time for it to be a freestyle rap.
That's a little harder. I don't have the mad skills.
Boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats.
Are you saying boots and cats?
That's how you beatbox.
Oh, I thought it was pots and cats.
Pots and cats.
Is it boots and cats?
And buttons. Buttons can be in there.
Boots and cats. Yeah, you're right. Boots works. Good.
Well, we've all learned something.
Have we?
Yeah.
So, in Hero Worship, the episode we're about to talk about, Hero Worship, the plot of Hero Worship is as follows. In Hero Worship, the Enterprise is researching, trying to find a research ship that went missing in a black cluster.
What was it, the Vico?
The Vico.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Vico the Carpathian.
Oh, you beat me to it.
I don't get it.
It's a Ghostbusters,
It's a Ghostbusters 2 reference.
I don't think I've seen it.
Oh.
That's for the best.
It's worth watching. I like it. Anyway, it's
Check
worth
it
watching
off
if only
the
for what's his name?
Peter McNichol. That's
Peter McNichol.
Nope, McNichol. That's the one.
Yeah.
Tom's scary.
Different person.
Anywho, so yes, we're trying to find the Vico. It went missing. We find it. It's all damn fucked up. It's all blowed up. And it's so bad, they're like, man, half the ship has been vented to space. There's no life forms aboard. Let's go over, check it out. So they go, they
Steal
check
their
it
snacks.
out.
And
While they're over there, they find a small, defenseless child buried under rubble.
They immediately beam him into space.
Unfortunately, did not leave him there.
I know.
He was so
Pathetic
that he had that he didn't even have life signs that the ship could detect.
There was shielding something?
Yeah, some nonsense.
There was
plot
some
device.
Yeah, plot device.
He had
Liberty
aluminum
Gibbet.
foil wrapped around it?
It's
I
because
don't
he was
know.
pathetic. I think Jake got it right.
Whatever it is, I mean, Romulans should make their ships out of that material.
They should.
That would only improve their stealth capability.
That is true.
At any rate, so they can't rescue the kid without potentially destabilizing the ship. So, of course, they're like, all right, Data, you're disposable. Why don't you do it?
No, he's strong enough to do it.
So Data sends the other guys back, and he lifts up a big, heavy piece of styrofoam girder.
Kisses his bicep in the meantime.
The kid gets out, and then they beam back to the Enterprise to safety. Long story short, the kid falls in love with Data.
Well, who can blame him?
And wants to become an android himself, or better yet, believes that he is an android.
Beep boop.
Troi, of course, sees nothing wrong with this.
I said that he's an android.
Instead of counseling the boy on the death of his family and the rest of the ship and the horrors he had to see, Troi's solution is pawn him off on Data.
I mean, would you want to deal with him? What
That's the
obnoxious
Picard
little
maneuver.
So,
really, you should go to the Mojenkos with all the other orphans.
So
every week there's a new one.
They're all full up on orphans at the Rozhenko house, you know?
No, Alexander just left, so they have a spare bed.
Yeah, but they got rid of him because they didn't want to fucking deal with any more annoying children's.
He'd be easier than a Klingon.
Speaking of annoying children, shut the fuck up. Let me finish this thing.
Well, you told us.
So Data takes the kid under his wing.
He doesn't have wings.
Bye.
It's a little awkward for a while because the kid's doing weird shit like combing his hair and wearing clothes.
Yeah, what a freak.
What is Data teaching him?
Yeah, right.
There's no Yar around to practice on.
So as they're trying to figure out what went wrong, they're trying to. So the kid basically spins this yarn that they were attacked by somebody.
The Breen.
So they go off into the black cluster to try and track down the enemy vessel.
Is this our first mention of the Breen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Neat.
And of course they don't find any, but instead the black cluster itself seems to be attacking them and sending waves of shit at the ship. And they keep trying, and it's the old Chinese finger trap technique because every time they increase their shields, the strength of the attack gets stronger. You know, it's exactly like booby trap, isn't it?
Finger trap.
But anyway, so
Data
Data puts two and two together at the very end and is like, wait a minute, it wasn't the Breen that attacked you, it was the goddamn Nebula itself, you piece of shit. I guess
Androids do not lie.
And then he's like, well, tell me what the people on your ship were saying before it was destroyed. And the kid's like, they were saying shields, raise the shields, improve the shields, more shields, more shields.
Get out of the fucking way.
And Data puts together that it's actually the black cluster just reflecting the power from the shields back at the ship and amplifying it. So the solution is to take the shields off, and then they could just leave.
The solution is to beam Timothy into
and then
space.
the kid, having resolved his issues, goes back to not acting like an idiot. And,
Hooray!
And Troi Troi adds another notch to the bedpost. Successfully cured child with trauma.
I don't think that's how that works.
Well, whatever. In violations. So we're being visited by the
Three ghosts.
By three ghosts. No, but they could be ghosts. They're ugly as sin.
They could be ghosts.
The Yulians.
They're ugly as sin.
And it turns out that the Yulians have a special capability that's even more powerful than Troy's, which is they can dig out. They can. It's not really clear what they do. It sounds like they do.
They're fucking hucksters.
They help you recover memories.
Yeah, you knew someone with the letter J in their name at some point, did you?
Yeah.
Is it Jake?
It could be Jake.
It's some kind of mix of cold reading and guided meditation. I don't know. Either way, it appears they were introduced to them by them having described some bullshit to Keiko, and then Keiko's like, "Oh yeah, I remember helping my grandma paint. Great memory, Keiko."
Her childhood.
What about the time you were a
boring.
total bitch to your husband all the time?
Oh, she remembers that perfectly.
She doesn't have to remember it. She just keeps doing it. She just no need to remember.
Sorry, Keiko. I'm being mean again. But no,
So
Keiko.
is she.
So
Is that
anyway,
what O'Brien
that
always
was
has to say while he's licking her
mercifully, Keiko doesn't show up again after the cold open.
Yes, she does. No, she
And,
does. They question her later.
Oh, that's right. Damn it!
I just remembered a teacup. What's the big problem?
It wasn't a teacup. It was filled with ink, and she ate it. What a loser. Anyway, so as we're on the ship, so Troy's in her bedroom. She's touching herself. I don't know what she's doing. She's getting ready for
Got
bed.
a nightie.
She got her nightie on. She's got her dragon dildo in. She's got her ovipositor prepped and ready to go. She just replicated some gel eggs. And as she
ever telling you about
and
the
then she just starts
he knew
having a little bit of a reverie. She starts thinking about a time when she trashed the set of chips at poker, and Riker was pissed, so he beat her up. Or not quite. Well, then he's like, let's do it. And she's like, no. What's the fuck she call him? What's their pet name? Imzadi. No, Imzadi.
Not while we're serving on the same ship.
Not that. And then, of course, it gets Riker, of course. Remember, this is a
Super
reverie.
hard.
This is a memory. Riker takes it too far and does a rape.
Jesus
like
Why
that.
did you say it that way? Why am I laughing at
It's
what
not
you
funny.
just said?
This isn't funny at all.
I know it's not, but
saying
it's
he took
because
it
of
too-
what you said.
What did I say?
It's the
did a
language.
rape.
Well, he was doing a rape, but then in the middle of the rape, it turns out it's not Riker at all. It's the Ulian guy.
Jev.
Jev.
More like
Piece
Jeb.
of shit. More like jackass.
Yes.
So it's actually not Riker. It wasn't a real memory, of course, because Riker wouldn't do that. It was a fake memory that Jev apparently implanted and made her think she experienced this memory, and like she's really traumatic, and then she passes out.
Whoops.
So later in sickbay, Crusher's like, I got no fucking clue. What do I look like, a doctor? I think she might have this weird disease that makes you go into a coma. But she doesn't have any other symptoms. So they're trying to figure it out. Riker kind of grills the Jev, and Jev doesn't like that, so he makes Riker have a shitty memory about a time he didn't get laid. I don't know.
No, it was
Time he killed
It was a
somebody.
fire and somebody got killed and it was his fault.
And Ted Cruz was mad at him about it.
Yeah.
Jake made the same joke.
Ted Cruz, that's right.
Why did he look like Ted Cruz?
He looked like Ted Cruz.
There's a guy that was like
there
Ted
was an
Cruz.
actor that
How
looked like, just like
unfortunate
Ted
for him.
Cruz.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, he was in Riker's Memory and Engineering.
Glad it wasn't just me.
So yeah, again, that turns out to be Jev playing a trick. And Riker also goes into a coma. And then Dr. Crusher, she's getting a little too close for comfort. So Jev rapes her in the brain as well. And for her, he makes her relive seeing her husband's corpse.
Oh, yeah, that was rough.
And then he turns into the corpse and makes a face at her. And she goes into a coma. So anyway, in other words, this Jev guy's up to no good.
Yeah.
He's a real jerk.
Yeah.
So they figure out eventually... Troi wakes up, and
Why would Troi wake up?
and then
How?
well, because Jev
How
needed to
importunate.
complete his thing. So Jev's thing was to this has been going on a really long time.
Yes, you're talking a lot.
Fuck, I'm so sorry. Anyway, I'm just gonna wrap this up. I'm not even gonna finish the description. In the end, Jev gets found out and goes to jail, and everyone's okay.
Yeah, that's about
Yay.
right.
I don't remember why he was doing it.
No one does. There was no fucking reason.
There was
Oh, okay.
a vague...
We'll go over the
Yeah, we get to
because
it.
we have one episode to go through first.
I just legit couldn't,
I have an idea.
Yeah, it
Do
wasn't...
you? Okay, we'll get
it's
to
not
that.
explicitly stated, though.
All right, well, I look forward to hearing it.
Revenge?
So
Hero worship.
So for our last time we recorded...
Last week, 1 week ago.
Yeah, 1 week
Exactly
ago
1
today.
week ago. No one knows otherwise.
Nope.
I had thought we were also recording this episode then. So I had watched Hero Worship and Violations right after
No one remembers what
Worf's no good, very bad day
Matter
where
of
he finds
Time?
out how much it sucks to be a dad. And when Rasmussen...
Yes.
Rasmussen. Sorry.
Amazing.
When he came back to the future from the past. So, like, for me, it was like, wow, these two weeks in a row of, like, somebody becomes a father and the kid sucks and
So much.
really shitty historians. So that's the theme.
That's an interesting.
So we'll
connection.
just do the same episode that we did last week for this one.
Does that mean we
and
don't
call
have to
it
record
done.
this?
So long, everyone. Have a great week.
Chris just like has to record words, so he like puts it over it. So it's like where you would say Worf, it's
Mr.
like
Black.
Data. Hero Worship.
Denver
Wow.
Broncos.
The kid was annoying.
Oh, he was so annoying.
But he did a pretty good job. Some of it. Some of it was a little too much. Like when he was doing the kind of like weird head jerky shit.
yeah, that
it
was
was
way
a
too
little
much.
pronounced.
Well, he was a stupid fucking child.
He was a kid.
so-
Yeah.
But there were certain things that he did well. I felt like he got a lot of the intonation stuff right when he was like mimicking some of Data's speech patterns and things.
You know what he didn't do well?
Act.
Not being a fucking moron.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Mourn his dead parents?
When he was building that stupid temple.
Oh, that was so
How did
ridiculous.
he think that was gonna work?
I don't know.
Like it doesn't take a fucking superhuman android to say that. Yeah, that's gonna fall over, you dumb shit. Piece of work.
I love it when Data was being mean to him but didn't realize he was being mean to him. Like, yeah, it's a perfectly adequate thing you built. And he's like, structurally it's like this thing. And the kid's like, you suck, Dad.
I mean, in Shithead's defense, he clearly hadn't... Like, he was clearly working off of, like, a 24th century Lego kit. This wasn't... any lack of panache is down to the kit and not the boy.
They should have way
Yeah, it was
better
terrible,
toys.
wasn't
They
They should.
should.
They should. Yeah, no, the toys
It
in the
should
24th century suck.
It should be like a programmable thing that you can make, just to whatever specifications you have.
You know what would be
like today,
great?
Jake was programming something on the 3D printer that would be better than this kid's whole fucking life.
Well, you know what would be great? What would be a cool toy in the future, I think, would be like a sand cast, like a sand table. You know what I mean by a sand table? Like
Yeah.
a sandbox indoors.
Yeah?
But instead of like sand and shit in it, it's like a little mini holodeck, and you can like
Oh, that is
sculpt
fun.
shit and
yeah.
like maybe bring characters in, and have them move
Like a
around.
little story-
and, like,
storybook.
You could build
Like that, like that
Creator.
creepy part of the Mark Twain Adventures.
Yeah.
Automatic claymation.
Actually, anything to do, because really, since you really technically have unlimited space in a holodeck because of technology wibbles, you could just make a, like, personal, like, basically a locker just big enough to hide a child in and just make that its own personal holodeck. And how great would that be?
Just
It's
lock
like,
him in the locker
yeah,
all
it's like,
day long.
Child.
Don't give Ames any ideas.
Child, I am
Jesus.
sick of you. Go in the holo locker and go see your virtual parents that don't hate you.
I think it would have to be big enough because I feel like you still need enough space to move.
Okay, so, like,
3x3.
yeah, not huge. You can, just there you go, child. Go into your holo room.
There you go, child.
No dessert tonight. Troi gets your dessert tonight. Congratulations, Troi.
Hooray! Shut up, Troi. Go to the holodeck.
Wait, this wasn't the episode where she was creaming all over herself about the ice cream sundae,
No,
right?
that was a couple of weeks ago.
Okay, good.
Oh yeah, that was good too.
So I'm never gonna get that out of my mind.
Yeah.
Although
that
there
was
was
horrible.
there was an ice cream bribe in this episode too, where it's like, oh,
True.
but androids don't like eating ice cream. He says, well, maybe androids do like eating ice cream for
They like
the
tasting
mouthfeel and
Shows
learning
what
what
you
that's
know,
like.
you dumb bitch.
I will
like
have
eating
the
ice cream.
Are you an android?
I wish I would eat all the ice cream.
So yeah, I don't know. This episode was dumb.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
It was
Why?
just a rehash of the bonding, really, wasn't it?
True.
It was
Why-
but with Data instead of Worf.
Yeah. Why wasn't Johnny dumb nuts like Jake, as you implied in your intro? Why wasn't he confined to quarters the minute they hit red alert?
That's a good question.
I don't know.
Wait, the child?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't
Because he
know.
mentions that he was just out. He thinks he blew the ship up because he thinks because he fell and landed on a computer panel at the
Yeah,
same
why was he
time.
out there in the
things
first
yeah,
place?
like he
Yep.
should have been in his damn room.
In
we
his,
don't know
in
where
his
he was
in his
on
locker.
the ship. Like he might have been in.
No, he was like out in the middle of like they point out where he'd been. He was just out in the middle of a fucking corridor.
Might have been caught by surprise. I mean, there might not have been time to deal with him.
Maybe.
Also, like that's a little rinky-dink ship.
Yeah, it's an Oberth.
Yeah, it was a rebuild of the Grissom.
I mean, I can understand you have a freaking luxury liner like the Enterprise,
It looked like a
bringing
frog.
families around, but like I don't see how you're like.
Yeah, no.
What is there for a child on the little shitball ship?
Yeah,
What
no,
is
like
there for a child on any of these fucking
Shitball.
ships? Leave them home.
yeah, true. But I mean, seriously, if you're gonna
Leave
bring
them
a
with the
kid,
Rishenkos, they'll be fine.
if you
Oh yeah, but they got school and stuff on the Enterprise. I mean, it's basically
Well, right, but the
same-
Did you
Enterprise-
see their school?
and like Jake said, though, the Enterprise is fucking enormous. This is an Oberth. It's like
It could fit in my fridge.
yeah, like this thing doesn't have amenities.
And also, like, Jake and I were laughing at the teacher, and now he could not handle the fucking children.
Oh man, and that guy. Tell me if I'm wrong, guys. That guy was a totally toucher, right?
Oh yeah,
Whoa.
Big time.
Yikes.
yeah,
Probably.
no,
Big
definitely.
He and Jev from the next episode will get along.
Ooh.
Yeah, we're going to have uncomfortable talks about that.
Yeah,
but no,
especially if everybody keeps making it a joke.
I'm sorry, it's not
What
a joke,
happened
but
to the woman who was teaching when Worf's kid was just starting out?
Alexander
Think
was too much
like,
for her and she
Fuck
fled.
this. Yeah, it seems right.
She was teaching younger kids, maybe. I don't know.
This kid's pretty young.
He was
So
So
older
they were
than
learning-
Alexander, I think.
They were learning various mythologies,
And
apparently.
Alexander's like 3. If that.
Well,
Wait,
he
that's
grows
true.
exponentially.
yes,
the Klingons grow logarithmically.
Yeah,
that's
so
right.
teacher is teaching us mythology, and I thought to myself, oh, good. In case we run into Apollo again, we'll be prepared.
Or the children of the Darmok people.
Oh, the Tamarians.
I did like that there was, a very opaque callback to 5 when they're singing Row, Row, Row Your Boat.
I liked that too. Kirk would be proud.
Yeah,
so according to the Memory Alpha,
What if they had marshmallows?
I hope so.
the standard crew complement of an Oberth class is 80 people. It is fucking tiny.
Well, and half of them were children. That's why they got so fucked up.
Yeah, wasn't the original Enterprise supposed to have 400 people on it in TOS?
I think depending on the episode, anywhere from 250 to 400.
I feel like...
Depending on if, the obsession cloud has whipped through them yet.
Right.
Yeah, so...
Black cat.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, and like the only
hi,
other time we've
Black.
really seen one of them, I mean, we've seen maybe a couple, but the one that's memorable is Chekhov's
No, he was on a...
Oh, yeah.
No, Star Trek 3.
Star
That
Trek
was
3,
Baby
that's right.
Kirk's.
That's
You said the Grissom.
Yes.
And also, actually, in their shitty Space Madness redo episode,
Naked Now.
that was also an Oberth.
Yeah.
The other ship they came across.
The Tchaikovsky.
Wait, what
Man,
was Chekhov on the
It is
Reliant?
really bad luck
Reliant,
to be
which
on
is
this
Orion's
fucking
class.
Like,
Class,
if
right.
I was in Starfleet and they assigned me to an Oberth class,
Yeah,
I'd
no,
be
run.
like, yeah, no.
We're
I'm
good.
not-
Shoot my foot off.
They're like, no, don't worry, there'll be plenty of room. It's not that. It's that every one of these things gets fucking destroyed horribly.
Yeah, no.
Either freaking taken over, destroyed by Klingons, or space madness,
Yep.
blown out the airlock,
Yep.
or it just blows up because of a space cloud.
Yeah, because its shields reflect back on itself.
Black cloud, whatever it was.
Black cluster.
We did have some interesting stuff to think about this week. Geordi told us an uninteresting story about when he was in a fire as a kid, pre-visor.
Yeah.
Which means this is when he did not have any instrument to help with his vision.
Yeah.
Right, because he was born blind.
Yeah, because he was born blind, which was an interesting thought to think of Geordi pre-visor.
So, I don't know if you saw this, but I was reading up on violations.
Oh yes, I did see that.
They had actually, before they decided which specific crew members would be the ones who go into dream comas, they wrote one for, like, everybody. And Geordi's was going to be the
that fire
little
scene.
Geordi caught in a fire.
Yeah,
Oof.
but if he didn't have the visor at the time, how would you show the fucking memory?
That's probably half the reason they decided to not do it.
The TV would get hot.
But yeah, no, so when they wrote this episode, they're like, yeah, we're going to use that.
No, it was a good story. It was a good thing to add to Geordi.
Yeah.
Also, was it this episode or the next? I think it's the next episode, actually, where he talks about his cat.
Also, what I was unclear, you mentioned before he got the first visor. I wonder if he meant as in his first, or like, was he actually like
Oh, like...
testing the prototype? Did he get the first
I
visor?
think he meant his first. I don't think there was implication that he's the only person. Although
He is the only one we ever see with one, so.
that's true.
Yeah,
Well,
it's because they fucking have surgery to fix that shit that he just doesn't want to do.
maybe he's allergic to retinax.
Could be, but I don't think so.
Yeah, it would have been nice if even just some one-off person from another ship had one or something, just to show it was a more widely available technology than seems to be, because he's the only one we ever see with one.
And then you could also say, like, we're able to accommodate more people with disabilities and stuff, and make them make them able to be on the ship with the rest of folk.
Because obviously, I mean, it goes without saying, I'd say that they created the character of Geordi to be blind with the visor
Yeah.
as a reach out to people with disabilities, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yet they immediately give him superpowers. You know, like they subvert the disability completely.
Yeah, the visor lets him see things that no one else can see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they specifically go out of their way to make him useless when he doesn't have it.
That's true.
I think it would be more interesting if he was an exceptional person and not just somebody with a visor.
Yeah.
Well, we are sort of going to get into that next week a little bit.
That's true.
Not to get ahead of ourselves,
That
but it is
true.
relevant.
It does come up. It does come up in a future episode. But yeah, I don't know. It is interesting that they took the opportunity to have a character with disability and they just don't give him a
Erased the disability completely.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Well, it's like looking at fucking Daredevil.
Yeah, that's true.
I haven't. Is it shit?
It's basically Geordie LaForge as a crime fighter.
Yeah, like the thing is, he
less
can't,
rapey.
He
A little
can't
less rapey.
see,
A little.
but because of the accident that cost him the accident that cost Matt Murdock his eyesight also enhanced his other senses to the point that he can basically
Does
see.
he have echolocation?
Yes.
Basically.
Actually, I read somewhere that there are blind people that you effectively use echolocation to like find how far away things are from them.
No, that's true, but I mean, his is like, of course, like
Yeah, you don't have
Being a comic
there's no,
book,
like
it's-
resolution. There's no,
it's amped up to a level that's like ridiculous.
Yeah, like I think I saw like a YouTube video once about a kid that like clicked as he walked around and like could tell when there was a car near him or could tell when he was about to head into a wall.
What the
Really?
texture of something
Yeah.
was in front of him. There's a soft thing off to the left. There's a hard
Seriously?
sheet to the right.
That's
Probably a
incredible.
wall.
Yeah, it's really cool, but it's not like it's not as attuned as like a bat.
Yeah, no.
Well,
So this fucking episode, though,
Data and his lol junior.
no mention of Lal.
Good.
That would have been
Everyone's forgotten lol,
little
especially
continuity.
Data.
Little continuity might have been nice.
He removed that program that remembers lol from his memory. I had a thought when I was watching this episode. Another data thought, which I'm always having.
Was it that you wanted Data to brush your hair, even if it looked stupid at the end?
I think he could make this hair better. And now it's getting shaggy. Does Data breathe?
No.
He simulates breathing.
He simulates breathing? Because I know when he and Lau had that flower and he was teaching her what smells smell like.
True.
He said, sniff, and they both sniffed the flower. So what did they do there?
Well, they presumably have some sort of sensor grid inside the nose and can
Well,
pull in
they
air.
probably have
They
a
can
sack.
pull in air, but he also survived entirely with his head cut off.
Yeah, no, the
but
breathing is like you said, Jake, it's a simulation thing to make other people more comfortable.
It's like the finger tapping or the blinking. So
Yeah.
He doesn't really have to do either of those things.
Yeah,
either.
I don't think Soong created Data to be practical, because there are already very practical androids,
Yeah.
like Rock.
Oh, Rock.
So I think that the breakthrough with Data and Lore is that they are extremely physiologically human.
Turgid. I mean,
That
yes.
they can replicate human behaviors almost exactly.
But yeah, they
You're
probably,
welcome, Palin.
again,
Thank
have
you,
lungs
Ames.
just for the sake of being able to smell things when need be, and also to simulate. It's like you said, Jake, though. It might not be lungs, it might be a sack in their chest.
Yeah, sack of air.
But if it's in the chest, how did he survive with the head cut
He doesn't
off?
need it to survive.
No, not survive, but how did the head still work and he still talk?
Oh, vocoder.
Vocoder?
Yeah, like I think he's just got a speaker built into the back of his throat. He doesn't actually need to push air out to talk.
Yeah. Does he have vocal
Alright.
cords?
How does the breathing chest work? It's not connected to the throat?
It probably is.
Well, I think what they're saying is that he doesn't really need the lungs to function. He just has them to simulate breathing.
Yeah, but how does air get in there?
Through his mouth.
But then there would have been like a hole when they took his head off.
Oh, yeah, you're right. They never
Maybe
show a hole.
maybe there is a hole. Maybe you just
Maybe
didn't
there's a
see
hole.
it.
Maybe
Maybe it
possible.
seals off when the head is removed for some reason.
All right, I'll
You
buy
don't
that.
want people putting pennies in there or anything.
Everyone would. Riker was with him at the time, so he knew. Oh, gotta put a sealant there.
Or maybe the lungs are actually in his head, and there's just like a little motor in his chest that goes up and down.
Great.
For that matter, there might
Maybe
just-
maybe he breathes. Here we go. Theory time, folks. maybe his lungs, his quote unquote lungs, his air sacs are in fact in his head, and are used to air cool his positronic brain.
Oh, I like that. So I was gonna say like, oh, but that's where all his fucking doodly whatsits
Yeah,
to make
but
him
it
go
probably
are.
gets very hot. Like most computer components get hot.
Although,
Needs
I
to
will
be
say, brace yourselves, everyone, for a very minor spoiler for Insurrection. He does have some sort of air containers in his torso,
Yeah.
since he is designed to act as a flotation device.
He
What?
also cannot get wet. Also from that movie.
Well, I got wet from that.
Awesome.
I
How does he-
haven't seen it.
Okay,
but-
he also doesn't need to consume food or liquids,
Right.
but he can.
Yes.
Where does it go?
He
Poopa.
got a little mini transporter in his throat and beams it
There you go. That's the one.
beams it out. Well, no, I think he did say. Did he say at one point that he can convert matter into energy supplies or something?
Alcohol and
I missed
fuel.
this, but
Are you thinking of Bender, the robot from Futurama?
I don't know.
please insert girder.
I mean, here's the
Didn't
thing.
somebody ask him once
I
if he
love
ate?
that. That gets
I
stuck in my
feel
head
like somebody
sometimes.
asked
It's
him
weird.
if he ate, and he was like, "I do consume something to like lubricate my internal components."
Yeah, that sounds familiar. I mean, the thing is, as we know from that time they found Lore, he does have a butt crack, which means there could be an anus, which means he could poop.
I'm sorry. How do we know?
Mannequins have butt
I'm pretty
cracks.
sure that anus is for insertions, not for removals.
It's like
He is fully functional and
So
programmed
it's
in
the opposite?
multiple techniques.
Speaking of insertions,
No.
What?
No.
there was this part of me that when they were like, they were accessing the ship's data core, the computer core rather, hey Data, come stick your dick in this thing.
Yikes.
Like
R2?
He's like R2, but his dick is the little interface stick. As they're banging the computer.
Yeah.
Yikes. Yikes.
Riker's jealous.
Obviously. Yeah.
But instead it was some sort of laser interface.
yeah.
I love how impatient Jean-Luc is. It's like, how long can we wait before we can access their logs? At least, almost an hour. And Jean-Luc's like, it's an hour, dude. Calm down. It takes me longer to fucking
Go on. What does it take you longer to do?
Take a poo?
Defragment my C drive.
Oh.
That's taking
Is that a
poo.
euphemism?
It's like balancing the checkbook.
Glad you kept all that in, by the way.
Oh, no.
You're welcome.
Oh, God. Yeah, this episode was lame, especially on the heels of that Worf episode. It was just like, why is this happening? And then the kid goes back to normal and everybody's happy.
And
Especially Data, because Data's like, oh, good, I can go back to
you think
whatever it is I do.
You think Troi sends like papers to peer review agencies? Because, my revolutionary new method of treating trauma. And it's like, oh look, it's another one from that Troi woman. She phoned it in again. Jesus.
Meanwhile, Data has like a Medal of Honor.
He already has.
Yeah, I was gonna say he has some, doesn't he?
More.
You put up with a child. There you go.
Speaking of Troi phoning it in, violation.
Wow, we had a lot to say about that episode.
Aren't you
It's
glad?
just
Aren't
such a
you
shitty
glad
episode.
I dragged out the intros because we're going to have so little to discuss this week.
Okay, so violations.
I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah. So what seemed, I don't know, Jake, you seem to have an idea. I wonder if we have the same thought about what the sort of implicit motive here was.
Yeah, what the fuck was up with Jev?
Okay.
My assumption is he's an asshole.
Well,
Yes,
that's it.
but-
That's my
there is
assumption
I
also.
think there is a
think you nailed it
practical
there,
a
Ames.
practical motive as well, though, and it becomes clear in Troy's second bad experience
When he was there with her?
when he was there with her,
Okay.
and instead of seeing him, she saw his father.
Oh, that's when, yes.
So what we saw at the beginning during the
So not her second bad experience, but her recall of the first bad experience.
no, she was reliving the memory again. That's what the whole she was reliving a memory of a memory.
Yeah, but with his guidance.
Yes,
With his guidance.
Okay.
So this time, though, in the memory of the memory,
Yes, it was Tarmin.
it was to the father, and Jev did that because at the
He
beginning,
has daddy issues.
at the beginning, you'll note after they did the whole thing with Rosalind
Puppy.
Keiko.
they had the dad there shitting on him, saying,
Yeah.
you're not
he's
you're
not
not
as good as
nearly
me."
as good as me at this. You piece
Oh,
of
you
shit.
tried once, and I had to come clean up your mess and
You
clean up
spent
someone's
4
brains.
hours,
And then,
and it
you
took me
know,
2 minutes.
And he's doing the old Arthur clenched fist thing under the
Yeah.
table.
Yeah.
And I think that was my thinking is that his whole plan all along was to frame his father for these mind rapes.
So,
Brilliant.
question. There has been a pattern that this has been happening on other planets, though. And that every time Jev went to one of these other planets, even when his father wasn't there have been people who've gone into comas, which can be mistaken for, Iracine syndrome.
Good point. I didn't
So-
think of that. Well, then the other...
So he's just also an asshole.
So yeah, I think he might also just be a rapist.
Yeah,
He's
I
just a
think
mind rapist.
he definitely,
Wonder what the severe punishment was.
they probably lobotomize him.
Yeah, they take out your sense, your memories,
Nice.
organ.
Maybe they make you uglier somehow, because that makeup.
I liked it.
Oh, I
They
hated
give
it.
you, maybe they
Gave
give
me
you
creeps.
clothes with more holes on them.
Fucking hated
There's
that,
a
too.
phobia of things with holes because it reminds you of spores and shit.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called, but yes, it's creepy and I don't like it. Tritopho, something like that. I don't know. It's terrible. You look at a dried lotus pod and you get the creeps. Yeah, no, I didn't like their dumb triangle cutout jackets. I didn't like their makeup.
Yeah, I had a note and I wrote hey Jev, your jacket's missing some triangles.
It's just very warm on there.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. Of course, the hard part about trying to sort of provide motive for someone like this is you risk, I think, getting accused of trying to make them sympathetic.
Yeah.
Which, you don't want to do, because
Yeah,
I don't
this
care how
guy's-
shitty your upbringing is.
Yeah.
That's
Say,
no excuse.
This guy was, neglected or, I don't want to say abused, but, mentally abused by his father.
Yeah.
And therefore feels unup to being a Yulian.
So he has to, do these little power plays around people. Clearly there's...
Power play is 2 weeks from today.
It's clearly all about power. Because, the thing is,
Like
Well,
rape.
most rape is, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He clearly could have just, oh god, poor Troi in this episode, as far as the writing goes, as always, she served very poorly.
She fucking had a great combat scene, which kicked
She
ass,
did,
though.
that was nice. I thought it's about fucking time they let her, she does a little Kirk chop on his ears, it's great.
They threw her across a room.
But, clearly before everything happened, she totally would have been down with just dating him normally. That's what the writers have her do. New man shows up, time for Troi to go to town on him. But even then, that wouldn't have been enough for him because he doesn't want willing, consensual relationship. He wants to be in control because he's a sad, pathetic little man, and I hope they lobotomize him painfully.
But I also think that
How's the penis?
he wanted to be caught.
Maybe.
In this case, because why else would he go back to Troy's quarters and then mind rape her to her face?
Well, like you said, that was to help try to frame up his old man.
No, that was
They'd
late.
already
That was
done
that was
that.
at the end. This
The very end.
His
Yes,
dad
yes,
was
I forgot about the third
was
time.
already implicated. He was going to be going. He was going to be getting lobotomized, but Jev just not able to control himself.
He finally snapped.
And here's the thing: if he had done that not in front of her, she probably would have just assumed it was the father again or something. But he went to her quarters, in her quarters, to her face, does the thing, and as a result of that, he gets caught. And I feel like there's the only explanation there is that he was trying to get caught.
Well, he wasn't exactly. This is also what really fucking about the episode was Troy's assaulted. Okay, you don't really have a lead. Then the guy leading the investigation goes into a coma. Then the lead physician on the investigation goes into a coma. And they're still now we're not trying to say anything, but we're concerned it maybe involves you. No, it definitely involves them. It's like
And then Dad's like, there's no collusion. Sad.
Also, it was really gross to me that, again, Troi getting short shrift from the script is she's the only one whose bad
Short
memory
shrift from the script.
is actually a horrible sexual assault.
Mm-hmm.
Riker and Bev just have to relive shitty memories, which that's the other thing. It's weird, right? Because presumably Riker never actually did that. But there's no reason the other two memories weren't real.
I don't know. I don't think Jack got jumped out of his casket at that.
Well, no, but I mean...
Yeah, but it was still based on a real memory.
Yeah,
right?
see...
Well, yeah, but hers was probably based on a real memory.
Hers was based on a happy memory.
Who, Troy's?
That the guy then turned dark at the end.
Well, I bet you there was still no, not while we're in Starfleet together, because she's been really weird about relationships with Riker.
But it probably ended there.
Probably.
She's probably no, and he was like, okay, yeah, you're right.
If we want to think Riker's a good guy.
Yeah, I mean,
I think we generally
I don't think he's a rapist.
Yeah, no. I mean, I think he's kind of a dick, but I don't think he's a rapist. But yeah, so I thought that was kind of gross that, hers was the only... Not that I guess that sounds like I wanted everyone to get raped. You know what I mean, though? Of course...
I would have liked it if there was more rape.
Troy's couldn't have been something that wasn't sexual. It couldn't have just been a really bad memory.
Troy's whole job is being sexual in this
that's
show.
why
That's all they ever do with her.
No, it's fucking awful.
Also, which are so fucking unflattering, too.
They're terrible.
Yeah.
She's actually, gorgeous, obviously. And they put her in these fucking...
Well, and what fucking pervert put her in that nightgown? That is not I'm going to bed in my room on my own nightgown. That is I am expecting a date and it is going to get hot and heavy
Well,
nightgown.
it wasn't Jean, because Jean died during filming of this, it died right before filming of this episode.
Maybe he saw her in the nightgown and just died. Couldn't take it.
Yeah, it just really, so much that they do poorly with Troi in this episode is just on display here.
Her hair looks nice down.
It does.
Now let's speculate wildly. We already mentioned that
we love speculating
Geordi
wildly.
was going to have a
Rampant
fantasy
Spec
about
is
that
my
fire.
Yep.
What would other characters' memories have been?
I know that Rose would have been her part in the Garon 2 incident that we don't really know much more
Rose
about.
wasn't even in this episode.
Exactly. They didn't use her. They didn't use this this sequence.
So, what would Picard's have been?
Oh, if I don't know what it was.
So
I didn't see reference.
The time he got stabbed by a Nausicaa?
I was going to say, so that would probably be the real one. If they were actually right, but what would be the funny one?
him in that elevator with the children?
His pants fall down and his brother laughs at his dick.
And then they mud wrestle.
In French.
And then... en français.
Hey. French is a dead language.
Worf's would have been... Man, most of mine are going to involve people laughing at other people.
No. Worf's is literally just being in the same room as Alexander.
Worf's pants fall down and his brother laughs at his dicks.
In Klingon.
His dick.
Oh, no. That's Bulldog.
I'm sorry, how was that? Bulldog. That's good, Ames. That's good. That's very good. That's very well done.
I think that's the only characters. Data. You could have a Data one.
No one would laugh at that dick.
No.
Well, it's because
They would worship.
He can grow it and shorten it.
Telescoping?
Yeah, I would think so,
His
right?
pants fall down, and Joe Piscopo laughs at his dick.
While doing this one thing that surprised me,
Oh, Jesus.
they actually got the guy who played Jack Crusher in the
They
Hollow
did.
message to be the corpse for 2 seconds.
Yep, that was him.
Wow, that's... Because I saw, I was
Didn't
like, wow,
even
that,
do anything. He
that
just
really
lays
looked
there.
like the other guy, I think. And I looked him up. It is and he's apparently going to appear once more.
Well, you have to have consistency.
We've seen him more than Wesley. Oh,
Yeah.
This might surprise you, but they got the same actor to play Spock in Reunification as who played him on the original series.
Whoa.
That's more than 20 years prior. That's
I know,
crazy.
That's nuts.
wow.
And of course, this is that episode where the internet thinks that picture of Patrick Stewart with a hairpiece comes from. Let me rephrase that.
I don't know what you're talking.
I thought that picture came from a screen test.
Well, that's the thing. It's always... So there's this picture they list with... Because there had been talk of having Patrick Stewart wear a piece.
Yes.
But it never happened, and they never even tested with it. But a picture of him...
I thought they did test with it.
Well, if they did, there's no photo.
Okay.
Because the photo that goes around the internet saying it's a screen test of him with a piece is from this.
Oh.
And if you look at it, he's even got the little, fake bandage on his face.
Yeah, what the fuck was on his fucking face?
It was...
Shaving
Why-
accident.
Why are you shaving next to your fucking eye?
Well, presumably it was,
He's got
whatever...
really hairy eyeballs. You
Whatever
don't know.
crisis Jack had died in also injured Picard for some reason.
Now, here's the
His
deal.
hairy eyeballs.
Here's the thing, right?
Looks like he'd just gotten rid of the board.
So, Picard.
That guy.
Is it that he's
His
only
arms open.
Has he only recently gone bald? Because
When Jack died, he shaved it all off.
Yeah, when we know that when Jack died, he still had at least some hair.
it was a pretty good top on him.
It was
Yeah.
thin.
It was thinning, but it wasn't. I don't see you going from that to the current Chrome Dome look.
Well,
I guess it was probably 15 years ago.
At
Let's
this
just
point,
track
yeah.
Chris's head and
Oh,
we'll
thanks.
find that
How
out.
old is
Yeah.
Wesley now? 15, 16?
Yeah, he's 18.
But you also,
But also-
So it was probably 18 years ago, right? Because didn't Jack record one 6 weeks after Wesley was born and then died?
shortly thereafter.
is that
died
true?
soon enough?
Although
that he didn't do
apparently
another...
sometime in that space they did a change of uniforms.
Yeah, as I say, because in that recording he was in the
Red jacket.
red jacket,
And then Picard is in the season 1 TNG jumpsuit.
which is consistent with what we saw in the battle.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
From when the Stargazer was destroyed.
Yeah, because
So
they
that's
already
consistent. And I was pretty sure that Jack Crusher died not long before the Stargazer.
had... Yeah, so it was when he was on Earth recording that, the orders for uniform change went through.
Maybe he just wanted to wear it in the recording so Wesley could see a pretty uniform.
Maybe, because the other one sucked. But yeah, you'd be surprised. I mean, I remember, sometimes you will have people, though, that even, their hairline will just suddenly jump
That's true.
in the space of, a couple of years. Mine has been just a gradual decline for over a decade now, but, I've known other people where it's fine, holy shit, in, 2 years, and it's whoa,
That's true. Yeah,
I
I
suddenly
guess-
have more hair than you.
I guess given the amount of time that's passed, it does.
Yeah, it's
make sense.
reasonable.
So, yeah.
What else about anything else in this one? What do we got?
Let me look at my
Some
notes.
stuff.
It's a horrifying episode, but
Yeah.
because it's, to an extent it's supposed to be, but I feel like it's not handled well. So it's
because it suffers from it's aged poorly. If it was written today, it would be different, probably.
I also feel like if it wasn't so, maybe I guess this is kind of the point, but if the mind rape wasn't so specifically linked with actual rape, if they had not made
that's
Troy's
true.
a sexual assault, and if
Yeah.
the other guy had not called it rape, I think that would have. It would have certainly changed the tenor of the episode. I think it would have made it less uncomfortable to watch.
Yeah, I mean, and Tarman started off being a creeper.
Yeah.
When they were saying, "Oh
Yeah.
yeah, we're not allowed to look in people's minds," he's like, "Oh, but sometimes when there's a pretty lady, it's hard to help myself." I'm like, "Oh God,
Yeah,
you grab him by the
but
pussy?
again-
What is with you?"
But again, that was a foreshadowing of him being framed.
Yeah,
mind-
that's true.
the
See, now
mind
what
pussy.
would have been really interesting is if they had not explicitly shown it being Jev doing
Yeah.
previous rapes, so that you might think it was the
that
father.
would be interesting.
That would make it... Well, you need to do
I
two
didn't
things.
understand why he inserted himself into it that way anyway. Was it like Red Dragon where he like needed her to know who was manipulating her? Was it like he just had poor control? Like where did that come from?
Probably a bit of both, to be honest.
I think honestly that it was done more for the benefit of the audience.
Oh.
Yeah, so, because I remember having that epiphany moment of, oh, it's a different guy now. It's the other one. I feel smart that I noticed that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you need to do two things for your version, though, Jake. Is, if they, like, didn't show the face till the father, and then turned out to be a ruse. But, like, they'd have to have told the actor playing the son, like, don't be painfully, obviously evil.
Or what would have been interesting is if you were led to believe it was the son.
Oh.
And maybe even Troi believes it's the son at first, and then
Yeah.
it turns into the father, and then it actually was the son. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's getting complicated and weird.
But yeah, the guy
I
who
don't know how it
played the son, though, was definitely, like, just so transparently a bad guy before anything had happened.
Well, that fucking knowing glance when they all leave 10 forward in the cold open, it's just like, ugh.
Yeah, like, one of my first, I was like, well, he's clearly going to be up to no good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they cut a Worf line, because when he says, I wouldn't let anyone probe me, clearly they cut off the except Pulaski.
She stuffs him full of crumpets, does she?
Oh.
Moriarty taught her a few tricks.
So, okay. So, obviously these people do have some kind of telepathic powers.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Are they like a traveling show? Are they like...
Well, they're
historians.
Yeah, they're supposed to be on their way to Calder 4 to like help with their history or something.
Oh, you know what's interesting? There's something I thought was... is this the one where Data and Geordi, I think, were talking about memory? Is that... They're walking around...
Data and Geordi were looking into other places where the Iracine syndrome popped up.
No, they had a conversation about
at the very
how
beginning.
Data was like, why would you...
you remember your cat?
Yeah,
yes.
why would you need your memories recovered?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you can't you just recall them?
They're such friends.
And like, what's interesting, I mean, I don't know if there's just been a lot of new research and learning with respect to how memory works since this show.
Probably.
There probably has been. But I recently remember reading about how, the way that memory works chemically in the brain. And it's not, like when you recall a memory, it's not like looking up data on a hard drive.
Yeah, no.
It's like...
I look up data on my hard drive.
Yeah, and I'm probably completely misstating this, but if it's more like recalling the senses of that. That's why memory can be triggered by a sense, like by a smell or seeing something or hearing a sound that a song or something that would trigger a memory that goes with it, because the way that the information is organized and encoded in your brain, it's memory is tied to senses.
Yeah.
Which is why I also kind of liked when they were mind probing Keiko, and they're like, "Oh, smell the thing. Does it smell like stuff?" And he's like, "Oh, I don't know. What
Try to taste it.
Let me drink the ink water."
Which actually, that implies she did that at some point, because otherwise she shouldn't have a memory of what it tasted like.
I mean, have you met her?
Oh, I'm sure she drank paint water.
Also, that scene, I feel like, got a little racist.
Yeah.
Because, like, whenever they cut to her memory, it was, like, little fucking, like, 1950s Hollywood, like, shamisen music, but, like... It's like, come on, guys. That's really the only thing you could think of.
That's the soundtrack in Japan. If you were in Japan, that's what it sounds like everywhere.
Just playing over loud. Like, come on. Fucking hell, Star Trek.
But,
also, only episode that features Keiko without Miles.
She prefers it that way.
Yeah.
I'm interested to get back to Deep Space Nine and see if this is justified or not.
Justified?
The sort of the loathing this poor character gets, not just from you guys, from the internet as well. Like,
no, she's a bitch.
Like
but also she's a woman. The internet tends to not like female characters.
But even women don't
just
seem to
don't
like
get
her.
like
Well,
Miles and Keiko are not a good match.
I feel like nobody really wants to be married to Miles. I feel like Miles is one of those guys that you're really good friends with, and that's basically it.
Aww.
Sorry, Miles.
I also had a thought. So Geordi apparently forgot what happened last year on his birthday.
Yeah.
what happened last year on his birthday?
Probably nothing. There was probably one of the many crises, and he didn't even think about it at the time.
He had a party on the holodeck and he invited 400 people.
They were
all Leah Brahms.
And they made a pig
They
pile.
were all naked.
Yeah, but Data must know. Data would have been there, and they're friends, so... Data, like, because Data's walking down the hallway, entirely stone-faced, being like, not gonna tell him what happened on his birthday.
I don't think Geordi would invite Data to his naked Leah Brahms pig pile.
Yeah, but then he could specifically have Data wipe the memory.
And you're wrong. Cole Meany has been married twice.
Is he currently married, or has he also been divorced twice?
No, he is currently married.
Oh, good for him. Since how long?
To Keiko.
He's married to a woman named Barbara Dowling from 1977 to 1944.
What?
To 1994.
1994.
Oh, man, is he a Highlander? What the fuck?
And according to Wikipedia, he's been married to his current wife, Inez Glorian, since 2007.
Nice.
Whoop-de-doo.
Good for him.
So I'm just saying, people do want to marry Miles.
Not as good for them, but good for him.
They couldn't get Chekhov, for some reason.
Oof. Nobody wants Koenig either.
Oh.
No, it's true.
Been married to the same woman for years, I think.
I'm just kidding. I love Walter.
What did everyone think of the crazy camera effects during the Riker dream?
Obvious.
Wow.
I found them disorienting.
Well, that was the idea.
Shallow
They
and
wanted-
pedantic.
He had even more beard.
But yeah, that's the thing though. Like,
Why not do that during the other ones?
they had weird camera shit in the other ones.
Okay, well not
They
this.
were all they were
Not
all,
this weird camera.
No,
shit.
they definitely did some like fisheye stuff with his mouth.
Yeah, no, it was...
They just like positioned the camera like 2 inches from his chin and made him talk.
Also, sorry, just another Wikipedia tangent.
All right.
He has, in fact, been married to the same woman since 1965.
44.
Yeah.
From 1965 to 1944.
Yeah.
No, so he's been married. So you can't say that she married him for fame.
No.
I mean, it
Well,
really wouldn't
back-
matter when he got married, and you could still say that.
He was cute back then, though. He was all right.
He looked like one of the monkeys. That's why they cast him.
No, they had to put a wig on.
Yeah,
to look like
really
one of the
fucking
monkeys.
bad.
Yeah, well,
wig.
he looked like one of the monkeys minus the hair.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I found like, it's like, weird, distorted, because it's weird, fucked up memories. It's like, I know there's only so many shorthands for that, but it's like, could you have chosen a more obvious one?
We've
Yeah, I
seen
don't-
Fish Islands crazy before.
But I did think
Yeah,
I
done
actually
better.
thought the Crusher one was the best shot.
Yeah.
yeah, that one was creepy and weird. And
Yeah,
her
that
hair
one-
was long and straight.
Yeah, it was.
At least it wasn't whatever the fuck she had going on during... what's the one that one, First Contact.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
I really hate her hair in that movie.
You do.
I did so much.
What was wrong with it? It's just blonde?
No,
did
she
they
looked
do?
like a
Bob
fucking...
blonde and sort of a
She
bob.
looked like a fucking
Yeah.
spider plant or
It
something.
was, it was like
She had like the Jennifer
yeah,
Aniston,
Jennifer
but short.
Aniston cut,
What year
and
did First
it was like
Contact come
and
out?
there was like highlights.
90.
Yeah, it was the highlights. They were awful. It was all bad. Bev was bad enough without bad hair as well. Sorry, Bev.
Yeah, Bev Crusher's definitely someone who benefits from her normal hairstyle. I think.
Yay.
Well, she sure reels them in, so she's doing something right.
Also, Troi. So when was this poker game supposedly having taken place? Because
Oh, yeah, that's a good question.
Riker had beard.
Yes, he did.
So
Well, it was said, like, we shouldn't, for some reason, we shouldn't, engage in a relationship while we were both serving on the same ship.
but you feel like that would have been settled in the first couple of weeks.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah, but it keeps popping up. And by it, I mean little Riker. No, the whole, will they, won't they, happens every couple of weeks.
Well, yeah, I said this before. It's like the show can't decide whether or not they're on or off.
Yeah.
It's fucking
But
frustrating.
they're always giving both of them other love interests.
Yes.
True.
But
Like,
they're both always
it's
okay with it.
basically-
Like,
like,
yeah, Riker, go
basically
get
the way it
laid.
goes
Well,
is
not always.
If there's no alternate love interest for either of them, then okay, this week we can have them make googly eyes at each other.
Oh, God, that's right. This, This episode actually referenced Shades of Grey.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
it
did.
There was a Shades of Grey reference.
Yeah, I actually did like the switching of their roles of Riker being over, being her like caretaker in sick bay, whereas was the other way in Shades of Grey. It was cute.
Yeah, something good come out of the episode.
They love each other, but they don't.
Maybe
But they do,
it's
but
weird.
they don't.
We don't know because the writers don't fucking know.
It's like Picard and the other one.
Bev.
Bev is her name.
Also,
That's
another
Wesley.
case of
Wesley.
a species conveniently not being able to be read by empaths.
Yeah.
Oh, I made a funny note. What was my stupid funny note?
That should be a space on bingo.
Yeah.
Troi can tell he's upset, but how?
It's because he smashed that table.
I mean, at least it makes some sense with this one because they are also powerful telepaths. So, like, at least it's like, yeah, you can imagine that they just naturally shield themselves as a matter of course because of the planet they're from. But yes, it is fucking convenient.
But it's not like, man, what a fucking horrifying existence. Especially when you consider what the dad said. It used to be a fairly common thing for this kind of
Crime.
Yikes.
So I'm like, can you imagine?
No.
Oh, like, Jesus.
No, it sounds awful.
Because it's not just like reliving a shitty memory. It's reliving a shitty memory made shittier by a shithead.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking wretched.
Yeah. To the point you lose
Pass out,
consciousness. Yeah.
I wonder if their people would pass out like, humans or betazoids would pass out.
That is an excellent question.
Maybe they just have to live it in perpetuity.
Ugh,
Until their captor lets them go.
that's fucking horrifying. Jesus.
Until their captor gets tired of it and goes and masturbates.
Oh.
Oh, God.
Sorry, this is a dark episode. It was actually I read that it came out of like the seeds of Shades of Nope.
Not Shades
Night
of
Terrors.
Yeah.
Also Shades of Grey.
Also a bad episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So not good all around.
Yeah, I was going to say, not a great week.
Good fighting from Troi though.
Yeah, that was good. I liked the and
Sorry,
also
when
that
was she fighting?
at the very end
She
when,
like had to pick up a keyboard and bash Jev in the head with
well, so
it.
first though she
Yes.
smacks him, then she kicks him. Probably would have been square in the balls if not for his dumb jacket. Then she
Hit one of
boxed
the
his
triangles.
ears, and then smashed him with the keyboard. Then Worf comes in and for once gets to beat somebody. What's great is he does it so
Yeah,
easily.
but Troy's like, I softened him up for you,
Yeah,
Worf.
he beats him up, but he's already been beaten up by a girl, so like.
But he what I love though is he just hits him. He kind of spins around, and then Worf just drops him into the arms of another security person. Puh, douche.
Poosh.
Yeah. Well, maybe they're making a turn in Worf's character, and they'll stop having him be shown.
No,
the
that
bitch.
won't happen.
Probably not.
Never happen.
Probably not. Anyway, anything more on these shitbox episodes?
No.
Good. It's a shorty.
Yeah.
Ish.
No, there's a lot to cut, I think.
Yeah, there's a lot of controversial
Jake singing.
bullshit. Anyway, all right, let's wrap it up. Fuck this shit. I
Yeah.
quit.
No, you quit.
I quit.
What do we do without you, man?
Oh,
text
I'll come back next week.
Oh, all right. Okay, good.
He's just a special guest
Because
from here
I
on
couldn't
out.
miss talking about the next week's 2 episodes.
What
which-
are they, Jake?
Well, thank you for asking, Caitlin.
Of course, Jake.
Because I was just going to say it anyway, whether you asked or not. But I'll pretend I say this because of you.
Thank you, Jake.
Just to make you feel better about yourself. Which probably doesn't happen a lot, so I'll give it to you.
Wow.
You've been really nasty to me the last few weeks, Jake. I don't want you to think that I don't notice this shit.
Well,
But yes, I am disgusting and pathetic, and I hate myself. So thanks.
Oh no!
Oh, I'm kidding, of course.
This is
Caitlin,
already
you're
our most
delightful.
offensive episode ever, and
Yes.
now it's fallen to this.
Sorry, I was just pulling a data and telling you what I really feel.
Right.
Androids do not lie.
I am operating within normal shit show.
Vulcans lie all the time, though. So really, Timothy? What was his fucking name?
Timothy's a Vulcan.
Yeah, should have just been a Vulcan.
Okay. Stupid Timothy.
Yeah, fuck you, Timothy.
Next time on our show, the Shard... the Star to
A sheep to shear her by.
Next time on the Star to Steer Her By... Are we the Star to Steer Her By or a
A
star?
star. A star.
Oh,
A
shit.
star.
1 star. That's all you need.
110 episodes in, you're still not
No, I
positive.
just...
Woo! There it is.
Actually, and I mean 119 with the 10 forwards.
Wow.
You're not getting a woo for that.
120 for the lost original episode.
No one will ever know that with shame.
Okay, anyway, well, that sucks for us. We're still here.
Wow.
Okay. So next time on A Star to Steer Her By, we're going to be covering 2 other episodes of the Star Trek generation. The first of which is The Masterpiece Society.
Quiet. Pinky up.
I'm putting the emphasis in the wrong spot. It should be The Masterpiece Society. The Masterpiece Society.
More like
A lot of pieces, eh?
mass asses. Go on,
A bunch of tools.
There we go.
Anyway, Masterpiece Society, followed by Conundrum. Oh, I was out last night in the lab, the mash, the monster mash.
We did the mash.
It was a graveyard smash.
The monster mash.
How did you get from Conundrum to Monster Mash?
It made sense to me too, somehow. I don't
Because
really
you're both
know
the
why.
same person.
Wow.
Okay, so we'll be covering the Masterpiece Society and the Monster Mash.
The Monsterpiece Society.
The
that's the one.
Monsterpiece Society.
It feels like
Monsterpiece Theater?
I was gonna say it reminds me of Sesame Street. I think that's why that happened.
Okay, anyway.
True story.
We'll be covering those next time on our show. I think at least one of them is a way better episode than anything we've seen this week. So
I think both of them are better than what we saw this week.
yeah, but one of them's exceptional.
We'll talk about them next week, though.
Yeah, we will.
We certainly will. Until then, catch us online at Enterprise.
Wow.
Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
We'll pick you up.
Oh, we should totally get sponsorship from Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
Oh, yeah, they want to be associated with us.
Oh, you know what? I think we should have sponsors, so I'm going to read ad copy that I'm just going to make up for a sponsor that we
How
don't
are you
have.
reading it then?
Sponsored by Slurm.
Do you like
Do you or someone
food?
you love suffer
Shut
from...
up! I'm doing the ad copy. Our advertisers are going to be pissed.
I'm sorry.
Do you like food? Do you like cooking food? If you do, you should get Blue Apron, which is a food company. They'll send you food in a box, and you can cook it. You could go to the supermarket and buy the same food
For cheaper.
For a lot less.
for a lot less.
Mm-hmm.
But this comes with a recipe that you could just download from the internet for free.
Whoa.
Oh, but I don't know.
I don't know, if you value
you know
value
what?
your time enough that going
You
to
know
the
what?
grocery store and back
This
is
is not working. Okay.
No.
Shut up.
No. Because here's the thing, right? I got saddled with a free week of that shit.
Hey,
once.
whoa. Saddled. It was gifted to us.
Well, it was given to us because you wanted it, but then we got it a week you weren't around.
I'm sorry.
So you just had rotting food?
Basically. Because here's the thing. Those little fucking food shipment fucking things aren't about easy or quick or whatever, because there's so much fucking little prep involved. It's about making Instagrammable food. It's not about making easy, quick, convenient food.
You know
it's
what?
about making food to show
All right.
off on
Okay,
the
all right,
internet.
fine, fuck it. All right, so there's a sponsor we're never going to get.
Yeah,
Thank you,
fuck
Chris.
you, Blue Apron.
All right.
I don't think ours was Blue Apron. It was a different one.
Same fucking
Well, I
thing.
bet
No,
you
but
Blue
it
Apron
wasn't.
is great, which is why they are a sponsor, sort of, but not
I'm
really.
glad that Jake is stretching out the episode so it can feel longer.
Do you like to sleep?
No.
Oh, I
Do-
would love to sleep.
Do you have My Pillow? Because I've lost it.
I do
And I can't sleep without
Oh my god, that was worth it for that punchline.
Well
said
done.
that. All right.
Well done.
Anyway, so sponsorship ad break over. Thank you to our sponsors this week, Blue Apron
And My Pillow.
and My Pillow.
And a pillow.
And
Is it My Pillow or a pillow to steer her by?
and we just couldn't record an episode of our podcast without a cool can of Wegmans brand sparkling lime water or other flavor.
I have
Blackberry tangerine.
That's a great flavor of sparkling water from Wegmans. Wegmans, where are the Wegs, man?
So where are we online?
I thought it was na Wegman.
That's right.
Where are we online?
So check out Wegmans next time you get sick of Blue Apron and want to go to a grocery store. All right. So we are online at Facebook, not a sponsor. Facebook.com/StarToSteerHerBy, or just search, I guess. I don't think / works.
It does.
Maybe. I don't know. Try it out. Let us know. You can also find us on Twitter and Tumblr, where our name is SSHB Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
You can also get to that same Tumblr by going to sshbpodcast.com.
Until Jake makes it an actual website.
Yep.
Which you should do.
And then you can check
Ames
us
is
out
even
there.
singing songs tonight.
Finally,
Black
you can get the podcast here on SoundCloud and iTunes and other sources of
Google.
sounds.
Other sources of Google.
Google's as well. And that's about it. So, good night, everybody. My name has been Jake.
This has been Chris.
This has been Ames.
And this is always Caitlin.
Man, these episodes are garbage.
They were.
Be sure to tip your yeoman.